Alrighty, what's up, you dirtbags? My name is Luke Egerbrotten. What a beautiful, beautiful day. We are sitting in June. This episode just dropped. Let's see, it would be Friday, June 19th, episode number 125. You guys are going to hear from the man, the dirtbag of the year, our first official dirtbag of the year, Mr. Mack Lipka, the most requested guest in history of any podcast. And obviously, he has the belt. He shows it on this episode. You guys will get to see it, and we dive into that a little bit. But we also dive into his story, who he is, what he's all about, how he won Dirtbag of the Year, what his plans are for his business, and he just has a fantastic story. And I know you guys are going to love this episode. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for supporting the show. As I've talked about a couple times now on the show, is we're expecting our first baby here. As of today, we don't have the baby yet. Our due date's July 11th, but just appreciate all the parenting advice you guys have sent over to me. We're so excited. Put my first car seat in my truck yesterday, and we're just very, very fired up for this new, difficult journey, I bet, but also exciting journey to have kids. So I know a lot of you guys are parents, so I read every single message, and I appreciate it so much, and just really, really appreciate the support. One thing, I can't remember if I talked to you guys about this yet, but I am super excited to step away as the host for my first time ever. I've hosted, I think, over 130 Dirtbags podcast episodes in a row. And when I'm going on a short paternity leave, and really we could do it where we have enough episodes banked up, like I could still host every episode, but I did want to try and stretch us a little bit and see, what does it sound like if somebody else hosts it, and how does that work from our producer's end, from our editor's end, and just bring in somebody new in to kind of make up some time and to help me out while I'll be out of office. So we thought no better person to step in than the man himself, James Stixma from Canadian Septic, one of my all-time great friends. Our relationship has really blossomed the last few years, and he's a client of ours at Phaser, but we've known each other for a long time, and just such a great guy and a great friend. And so I texted him of this idea a few weeks ago, and like I said, we wouldn't have to bring somebody in. We could easily we have a couple episodes banked up, no big deal. But I just thought, like, what a fun opportunity to let somebody else take it for a ride for a couple episodes, and have a bit more diversity here on the show. And I just think it'd be super exciting. So huge shout out to James he was pumped. He said yes right away. We have a couple guests already lined up that he's excited to interview and have on the show. But yeah, it means a lot. And I don't think I've ever really listened to a full Dirtbags episode, but when James hosts it, I'll definitely listen to the entire episode, and very, very excited. So looking to change things up a little bit there. A couple other things, huge. Dirtbags University is also back July 1st. It is, we're jumping in. We're having the man, Brad from Teach Me Dirt. He did that episode a couple months back of Estimating 101. You guys absolutely loved it. It was, very much like educational whiteboard material, how to bid jobs, how to estimate. And one of the most requested deep dive webinar topics that we've gotten is, hey, could we have Brad back on and do a deep dive into estimating? And so huge shout out to Brad. We're making it happen. This will be Wednesday, July 1st, and it'll be 7:30 p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. We'll put the registration link in the description here. If you can't find it, just shoot us a message. We'll send it to you. We're doing a big giveaway for anyone that's on the call. If you've ever been to Dirtbags University, they're a great time. Everyone comes ready to learn. There's a bit of networking, hanging out on Zoom, and just a Wednesday night where you can really learn something, hang out with other people in the dirt world from across the world. But then also, too, you got to be present for the giveaway. So we're going to do a big giveaway at the end. It's going to be awesome, and would really love to have you guys there. So we'll do sign up at the bottom here in the description. And I believe we did make this one free. Usually we charge for them. We just thought, I don't know why we did it, but I was just like, yeah, we'll do it free. We'll record it. We'll send it to you guys after. So just really, really appreciate you guys and all your support, and always coming to these things. And these are some of our favorite things that we do. So Dirtbags University, July 1st. It's a Wednesday night. I believe it's Canada Day as well. So huge shout out to our Canadians. You guys are amazing. Let's keep it rolling. As I talked about on a couple other episodes. We have our Phaser fundraiser coming up October 22nd. It's a Thursday. It's in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, my hometown. We do it at Detroit Mountain. This is our 6th annual. Last year, we raised $70,000 for the Boys and Girls Club of Detroit Lakes. And I think 42 of those sponsorships, 42 of the 50 sponsorships were from you guys listening. Clients of Phaser, people that listen to the dirt bags, and you guys that really want to help. We're opening that back up again, of course, because we're showing the impact that this community has. If you guys would be interested in sponsoring, let me know. You can just shoot me a text at 218-234-7345, or you can shoot us a message on Instagram. We'll have the values and everything that you can look at, but bronze sponsorship will be $750. Gold sponsorship will be $1,500, and then the diamond sponsorship will be $3,000. And we do a bunch of value for each of those sponsorships, but the main goal is obviously giving this money to the Boys and Girls Club of Detroit Lakes. Like I said, we gave $70,000 last year, and so much of that was from you guys. Our team at Phaser will be doing a match. We'll let you guys know if you reach out how much that match will be. And we're just so grateful and so excited for the kids of our community, and just make sure that they have the right resources to grow up with. So huge thank you to you guys there. Let me know if you'd like to sponsor or help out in any way. If you want to come, let me know. You'd probably fly into Fargo or Minneapolis, and I would love to have you guys there. But at the end of the day too, if you can't make it, totally fine, and you'd like to help out financially, it goes so far and means the world. Let's see what other fun things we have. 4th of July episode coming up. Excited for that one. That's flying around the corner here. And then yeah, we've got some really exciting episodes already recorded for you guys. And this episode that you're going to hear with Mack, so awesome. Excited. We'll dive into it a little bit more in a couple minutes, and you'll hear with him. But we talk about the ideation of, what does the Dirtbag of the Year look like next year? How do we go win this belt? And we want to hear the ideas from you guys too. Where do we host it? How do we host it? Do we tack on to an already existing event, like a demo day, something like that, where it's easy for you guys to come. We all get together, we all hang out, we have a good time, but somebody's got to go win that belt. Will Mack Lipka defend the title in 2027? We will see. So with that, I've been blabbing a little bit, but some important updates for you guys there. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for all that you do for us. This is the best job ever. Absolutely love it. We are in great, great hands, and just appreciate you guys. If you haven't left us a review, please do that. If you share us on your Instagram story, that would be awesome. And then I mentioned it on the last episode, but for free, if you guys reach out to me and want some more of those air fresheners, new skiddy scent, new septic tank, forestry mulching scent, and the black ice, just shoot me a message. I'll send you some of those for free, get you hooked up, just as a thank you for listening to the podcast. So with that, let's dive into it. This is episode number 125 with the GOAT, the Dirtbag of the Year, Mack Lipka. Joe, Keegan, Brandon, if you guys could cue the music, let's have a great day. Let's have a wonderful day. Let's get after it, and let's dive into this episode. Here we go. All right, what's up, you dirtbags? My name is Luke Agabraten, and I could not be more excited to be here with you all today. Huge, huge, huge episode number 125. You guys heard me talk about it in the overview. It's not often we have royalty on the podcast, but here we are today. We have the man himself, the first ever Dirtbag of the Year with the belt, Mr. Mack Lipka. Welcome to the Dirtbags podcast. How we doing?
Good. Thanks, Luke. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited for this one.
I've never seen so much love and hate for one person, because there's people clawing at that belt right now. And obviously you are in possession of said belt right now. If you want to grab it, just to show the listeners and the watchers what you're working with here. And he's going to get it right at the window. He's got this thing hanging up
right now.
Look at that. This is what we're fighting for. The Dirtbag of the Year 2026 belt. What we're going to do here is 2027, Mack is going to defend this belt. And for everyone listening, We don't know what or where we're gonna do it, but we need ideas. And so, Mac, you're gonna defend the belt next year. Probably gonna win it again unless somebody can operate better than you, which I doubt. But um,
Always.
yeah, it's great to finally have you on the show. You're out of Kalispell, Montana. What are things like out there right now? Is it you guys still have snow on the ground in June, or what's it looking like?
We actually haven't had snow for a month or so now, anyways, probably, but a lot of rain, but boy, almost 3 inches of rain like the last 5 days. I think we've gotten. Today is the first kind of nice day in about a week. So, um, kind of put a hamper on things this week a little bit, but no, other than that, it's been beautiful springtime. Things are green and still snow in the mountains, but it's one of the best times of year other than elk hunting. Oh, you always have to have
Yeah, right when it about this time of year, it's about when it gets unbearable in Arizona. So that's when you guys hit your Super Bowl and it's 75 and it's beautiful. So
yeah.
um I didn't mention this in the intro, but you own Black Diamond Landworks. Talk to me and the listeners a little bit more about that. And for you guys listening, go give Mac a follow at Black Diamond Landworks. Great content, a lot going on there. But Mac, tell me how you got started in that business and where you guys are at today.
Oh, so November of 22, I quit the company I was working for over out of Spokane, Washington, and I've always kind of wanted to go on my own. Um, so we decided to go for it. Um, Started out just renting equipment for the first little while. Got our first excavator that spring of 23,
What'd you get?
eight John Deere 85G with the Encon.
Mhm. Oh,
And
so you went right out of the gate with an Encon.
yep, yep. I operated one at the company I worked for, and I I guess I knew what they can do. I basically knew that any machine I bought, any excavator, unless it was like a dedicated mainline pipe machine or something, was gonna have an Encon on it.
Did you have money saved up, or how did you go about making that decision? Because obviously, when you go out on your own, there's a lot of expenses that come up and a lot of uncertainty. How did you make those decisions?
Well, we had a piece of property actually over in Washington that we sold. We were gonna build there and live there, but we decided not to. My wife's family is from here in Kalispell, and she didn't want to she didn't want to be away from them, and not that I can blame her. So, and I've got some family here too, so we decided to just try to stick around here. So we sold our property there, and then had some I stole from my retirement fund a little bit,
Oh
and
yeah.
just to get things started. Bought a pickup, 2012 pickup, just a simple truck, and started off with that. So we had some, not a lot of money, but some saved up. And I mean, I had tools and stuff from over the years, so kind of had the general stuff to get started with. And I guess I felt confident in my experience,
Hmm.
um, doing the work, and I mean, even been involved for many years, different companies I worked for, been involved some on the business side, but a lot of management
Sure.
side of things too. So it just, I guess it made that, I was pretty confident, made that decision pretty easy that I was going to jump into it.
So, what were you doing at the previous company? And then maybe if you could back us up a little bit, and did you always know you wanted to start your own? Like, what was that final leap to leaving? Was there a certain day? Like, talk me through that a little bit. And what were you doing at the time?
So for the company I was working for there, I, excuse me, started out as a foreman, um, just running the pipe crew, and then moved into, I really love mass dirt moving and grading is what I really, really enjoy doing. So I moved into kind of running those crews. So I always had, like they had a 60 John Deere 60 with the Encon on it, and I always had that with me. I think I put almost 4,000 hours on it in the about 4 years that I had it.
Wow.
And And in the last 2 years before I left there, I was also, um, some people call it truck boss, but managing basically all the trucks, the side dumps, end dumps. People would call, want material. I mean, we would hire trucking companies from all over the area to help. I mean, there'd be times where I'd be scheduling 25, 50, 60, 70 trucks a day, along with everything else I was doing too. So,
Wow.
um, yeah, it was just mainly working over there. It's 4.5 hours from Kalispell here, and my wife didn't like me being away from home, and she wanted to stay here close to family. So that really kind of made the decision. I really loved the company I was working for, loved the owner, got along really good with him and all the others there. But it was just kind of I guess, a decision for what was best for our family. So,
Yeah. What was that conversation like with your boss? Because I also had something similar where I loved my boss. I loved the my job I did, but at the end of the day, it came to an end because I wanted to go off on my own and start my own business. Was it a positive conversation? Like, how did you guys approach that? Did he know it was coming?
he, I think he kind of knew it was coming. I mean, he knew that my wife didn't really like me being away, or she didn't really like living over there. We tried living over there for a while, and she didn't really like the area that much. And no, it was a really good conversation. I mean, he kind of knew, and like I said, I'd been knowing him and been really good friends with him for, it'd probably been, well, since 2010. So it was about, almost
Wow.
13 years. And he was really very supportive. I mean, we had, boy, I think the day I sat down and talked to him, I think we ended up visiting for probably like 3 or 4 hours, just,
Wow.
just about business and about everything. And he was very supportive. And to this day, we still talk quite a bit. And sometimes I have questions, and I really have a very much respect for him. And so I'll call him with questions, and he's always happy to help. And so I'm very, very thankful for that.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, we have this motto at Phaser too, where it's you love them on the way in, love them on the way out, and that goes for clients, right? When you lose a client, you treat them the
Yeah.
same way they came in, but also goes for your team members. And I think that just is rooted in respect. And if you truly have respect for each other, you'll love them on the way out. And we've had situations too where we've lost amazing team members, but you're almost stronger when you do separate, and you can't help, and this isn't for everybody, but you can't help but be excited for them in their next journey. And when
Oh,
you
for
feel
sure.
that, it's the right decision because um they when it's a tough decision to go do that, but then you just have so much respect for each other, you're going to be excited for them. You're going to stay in touch, and also too, like, nobody's going to stay in a job forever. Like, it will
Yeah.
end at some point. So I think just being real with them and not burning these bridges, like you still reaching out to him and you guys still having that respect is massive because it's probably helped you a lot in growing your business as well.
Oh, it's helped immensely. I mean, yeah, just the many conversations. I mean, I guess about a lot of things. I mean, from equipment to the business side of things, kind of strategy, when to purchase,
Yeah.
when to not, all kinds of stuff. And no, that's what, even like our employees, I sit down with them when they first come on, and, try to explain that to them, that, hey, I want what's best for you. I want you to be happy, to enjoy your job. And the number one thing is, if it's not working out, I want them to feel free to let me know. And I always want what's best for them. And if they have a family, what's best for their family. Because at the end of the day, I mean, if it don't work out, we figure it out, and life moves on. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I just had a great conversation with one of my good friends this week, actually. And um, he asked me because he felt he was underpaid, but he didn't know how to ask his boss for it. And I just told him, I'm like, because I'm an employer, and I said, one of the best things you can do is not ask for a raise, but have an open conversation about how can I go earn a raise, and let's talk about what does that look like? What responsibilities does it look like? How long would that take? Is that possible? Because then as an employer, you're working together, right? It's
Mm.
not I'm asking for money for what I did in the past. It's how can we get on the same plan to go earn something in the future? Because as you know, Mac, it's like as a small business owner, like anything's possible. And if we go earn it. And
Yep.
so when you develop that plan with your team members, they can have a clear path. And I do think that we as business owners have a responsibility to create these clear paths for our team members so they know what roadmap they're going on. It's easier said than done, of course. Like we have a lot of improvement needed as well, but um, I just really think if you're listening and you're an employee, having those conversations with your employer, not demanding or asking for it now, but just having those conversations of how can I continue to grow the company and grow myself, and is this number, if you have a number, is this number achievable and how do I get there? And I think that just comes off so much more, so much better, really, when you're talking about career growth and then growing the business.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean, yeah, like we're still a small enough company. I mean, we at one point there was 9 of us. Actually now we are down to 5 of us. But the funny thing is we are, and they're all very, I mean, amazing employees, and we're actually doing just as much work,
No way.
running lean and mean this year as we did last year. Um, but as we're small enough that, and I know my employees really well, that I'll actually sit down, call them up an evening, or see them at the office, and we'll sit down and visit a little bit, and I ask them, what can I do to make every day work, your job,
Mm.
whatever your responsibilities, what can I do to make it easier, more enjoyable? Is there anything I can fix? And that helps them open up, like start off with, is there anything I can do for them? And then it kind of opens up to what they want, and you see that result in their work. Like they put much more effort and more uh, energy to help help the company.
What's up, you dirtbags? I'm Joe from Phaser Marketing, and I have the unbelievable honor to talk to you about insurance. I know it's not the sexiest topic, but hang on with me for just a quick minute, because this is important. If you're running an excavation, grading, or any kind of dirt moving business, you know the right insurance can make or break you. And that's where my man, Charlie Huff, comes in. Charlie isn't just some random insurance guy either. He's one of us. He grew up in a shop, he worked in the trades, and now he's dedicated his career to protecting dirt world companies like yours. His team is full service, fast, and relentless when it comes to getting you the best coverage at the best price. They flip over every rock, negotiate hard with carriers, and make sure you're not just covered, but covered right. And the best part, they make it easy. Need a COI? It's done. Adding or removing equipment, he's got it handled. Got an audit coming up? No sweat. They take the insurance headaches off your plate so you can get back to running your business. So if you want an agent who actually gets it, hit up Charlie Huff at 435-764-4833 to get your insurance dialed in.
Yeah. And Mac, if you don't mind, could you break down those 5 roles or those 5 people that are in your company and what roles they're in? And I think this will help us understand kind of where you guys are at. And then would love to hear, what does next year and the following year look like if you plan to grow, et cetera. But if you don't mind running through what the 5 roles are, and is it one crew?
Yeah, basically, I mean, it depends on the job size, but
Sure.
so there's myself, um, my wife who does a lot of the invoicing and the kind of the back end book stuff. Um, then myself, I'll do a lot of some of the, I shouldn't say a lot, I used to do a lot, but some of the estimating, um, kind of working with my wife on invoicing, stuff like that. And then I get out on the job as much as I can, which now that we're kind of once we're kind of booked out with work for the year now, it's easier for me to get out and I go
Sure.
work with the guys, which I love it, and they've told me they love it. We have a blast out there. So um, I've got the one guy, he's kind of project management estimator, and then works in the field with us too when there's not much from doing the office. Obviously we're still pretty small, so
Yeah.
he's got his CDL, I have my CDL, so we run our dump truck, move equipment, whatever is needed. And then the other two, both operators, laborers, and none of us are afraid to jump down in the ditch and get done what needs to be done. But I think we'll touch on this a little bit later with the incons. We don't actually have to do a whole lot of labor work. So um, yeah, I guess that's with our kind of the positions right now. Moving forward, I guess I'm pretty content with where we're at right now, but I
Yep.
do want to we've up to this point, we've probably been 95% residential work.
Gotcha.
Um, we're trying to, and have slowly been moving into more commercial work, and that is kind of our goal. We all really enjoy that. We prefer that kind of work. So we'll have to, as we move into that, add some more employees just to help cover the workload and make sure we have enough guys on the crew to be efficient. But
Yeah.
um,
And up in Kalispell there, what has been your guys' bread and butter? You mentioned 95% residential, but what type of work are you guys doing?
um, a lot of kind of a split. We've got a fair amount of just smaller residential projects, just simple, cut in the driveway, dig the foundation, septic
Mhm.
systems, final grades. We've got one big project that actually it was the first project that I got with the business when I started out was January 15th of 23, and we were still working on it.
No way. Okay. Once you're done with that thought, we need to go back to that story then.
So, um, a lot of retaining walls. We, having the incons and those attachments. We've got into a lot of that. A little bit of a niche market where we kind of slowly are getting into is houses along the lake.
Yep.
Um, redoing we've found a lot that don't have the correct drainage around them.
Hmm.
And so we go in, basically dig up around the foundation, redo footing drains, waterproofing, backload everything back up, get positive drainage away, fix their water issues because a lot of them sit down on the lake, but they're on pretty steep hillsides, so they get
Yep.
water run down. Right, that a lot of them have been having water issues for many years. So we've kind of been getting into that. That's kind of a little niche. We've actually bought a couple smaller machines just for that, to help us, I guess, be more efficient on that, and that's been a huge plus. But so that's
Yeah.
kind of a little bit mix of everything, I guess, really. But that's kind of the gist of it.
And then I know this comes up all the time, but when you talk about your 95% residential, you might do a little bit more commercial. Is it commercial? Like what maybe two questions for our listeners is, where would you find those jobs? Do they just naturally come to you and you look to see if we can do it? And then what type of jobs would those be?
Um, what we've done so far has just been we've gotten phone calls. Hey, we've seen you. You actually a couple of them. Our pipe supplier has
Mhm.
recommended us to the customer, and just small, parking lots or just we're actually finishing up one right now that's he's put in. I think there was 14 like tiny homes or cabins, and
Yeah.
we did all the sewer main and all the road grading. And well, it started out we were supposed to just do the sewer main, and then we got that done. And he's like, "Well, you're here. Can you do the road subgrade and put all the base rock in?" And So I said, "Yeah, sure, we can do that." And he's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you think you can blue top, fine grade, get ready for asphalt and then do all the final cleanup." So that one turned into a 4-day project for about 900 feet of sewer to we've been on it for the last month now, so
Wow. And I can't avoid this because you mentioned it and it's everyone's on the edge of their seat, including myself. You mentioned your first project that you landed after starting and you're still on it. So that was January 5th, 2023. T- Take me back to that day and then we can maybe fast forward to today and what we're doing. But take me back to January, whenever it was, maybe January 1st,
15th.
2023. Like, how did you get this job and what was it?
So actually the the 13th of January, we were actually in the hospital with our youngest. He had
Wow.
well he was that would have been his first birthday. He had pneumonia and he was kind of on the he was recovering from. Anyways, we were sitting in the hospital. Me and my wife were actually supposed to our anniversary is December 28th and we were supposed to be on a trip for our anniversary down to Florida, but we were in the hospital instead. So I got a phone call that evening, January 13th, that from my rental manager at Western States Cat here in Kalispell. I'd ran into him back in November of 22 at Les Schwab. We were both getting tires on our truck and we visited for a while.
Yeah.
And yeah, he called me. He said, "Hey, we have a customer that needs, looking for an operator." And I just got done helping a buddy for a couple weeks on one of his projects and didn't have nothing going. And he said his customer had his operator quit or something. And middle of January, middle of winter up here, I was like, I better take any work I can get.
Sure.
So he sent me the guy's number. I called him up, met him that next day, and it was supposed to be like a 3 or 4 day job. Just I was just gonna charge him labor rates, just running the excavator he had rented, just pulling stumps and kind of grubbing this site for a new home right on Flathead Lake. And we finished that up a couple days. I finished it up in like 2 days instead of the 4 that he'd figured. And he's like, "Well, I talked to this was just a general contractor." And he said, "I
Yep.
talked to the owners, and he's wondering he was going to come build the shop pad, but would you be interested in building the shop pad?" I was like, "Well, yeah. What size shop? What are we gonna do?" He's like, "Well, 80 by 200 shop." And so that turned into a couple more weeks worth of work, and we kind of got the shop pad built and laid it out. And the owner, he's from up in Canada, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Well, how much distance do we have from the shop to the basically big rock cliff?" And we told him, and he's like, "We need more than that." So we ended up blasting into the about 100 feet into the hillside. We
No way.
hired a blasting company to come in and drill and blast, and just made a bunch of room. And yeah, the owner really liked what I was doing, and I was just myself at that point. And I had a couple buddies help me a few days here and there. They're a little bit slow in the winter, and so I just kind of kept going. He kept adding more stuff to do, and um it turned into a whole compound, and we didn't even know at the beginning what it was gonna be.
Sure.
And, now it's, what is it, a 20,000 square foot house on the lake, and that big shop. And, there's, 4 houses, 1 for each of their kids up on top of the cliff, and, they call it the play barn or game barn, just, another building built into the hillside that's got, golf simulator and all theater and all that kind of stuff. So it's turned in quite the place, and we've done a lot of work there. It's
Wow.
we've had people I've had people ask me, what do you how can you spend so much time on one residential project? It's like it's not just your normal residential project. I mean, I mean, I've got a few pictures, videos on Instagram. I've been kind of careful on putting
Yeah.
much on that, trying to keep it as private, but I probably don't really have to be anymore because everybody around here knows about the place.
Right.
It's a
You
crazy, it's
you can't
insane.
miss it.
No, you can't miss it. So there's a few things on there. I'll be posting some more coming up here now. We're kind of getting towards the tail end of it. Getting ready for asphalt. We'll probably be next few weeks. We'll probably be prepping for asphalt, and the landscapers will come in and do their thing. So getting towards the tail end of it, but it's been a good ride.
Yeah, so do you keep a couple machines up there and then you have some guys on other projects, or how do you balance that?
Yeah, I mean, up until like last year, like I said, there was well 8 of us in the field, including myself. So yeah, we'd have a couple machines, couple guys there pretty much full time. Sometimes we'd all be there depending on the
Mm,
workload, what we had to do. But we'll have, I mean, there'll be times, yeah, I guess, active projects. I mean, at one point last year, I think we had 13, it was just, but there, you go in, do a little bit, then you wait for the concrete guys,
right.
foundation, come back, do some backfill, so just in various stages. But so yeah, we'd kind of jump around in and out jobs like that, which I think right now we have 5 active jobs in different stages. But so for the most part, we all work together, but there'll be days, a couple of guys will go to this job, a couple of us go to another job. But
Hey, dirtbags. This is Joe from Phaser Marketing, and I'm here with this brief pause to let you know that this episode of the Dirtbags podcast is brought to you by Sledgehammer, where science meets sustainability. At Sledgehammer, they're not just treating wastewater, they're transforming it. By introducing cutting edge microbiology into conventional septic systems, Sledgehammer is making waves in the world of environmental engineering. Their secret? It's not high tech hardware, it's smart biology. The Sledgehammer blend is a powerful, proprietary mix of naturally occurring bacteria that supercharges your existing septic system, turning it into one of the most effective and eco friendly wastewater treatment systems on the planet. Sledgehammer systems are NSF 40 certified for single family engineered designs and rigorously tested to the IMPO IGC 180 2003 standard for both proactive and rejuvenation applications. They're also listed under the Uniform Plumbing Code, giving you confidence in quality, safety, and compliance. It's clean, it's efficient, and best of all, it's sustainable. No chemicals, no overhauls, just a smarter way to protect our water and preserve our planet. To learn more about how Sledgehammer is reinventing wastewater treatment for a greener future, check them out at sledgehammer.net and check them out on Instagram at Sledgehammer Group Ltd, where you can learn more about their installer network partnership program. And check out AK Industries and HydroAction for their trifecta of all your needs for wastewater solutions.
Yeah, and I think this is perfect segue into your project management style, or maybe your tactics and strategies. I would love for the audience to hear more about that. You mentioned you have maybe 5 projects going on right now, a team of 5, but as you've grown, as you have been up to 9 and down to 5, but you've had projects coming in and out, like what has really helped you as the owner, but also in the field, like manage these projects? Do you have any advice or strategies around that?
um the biggest thing, I guess, to me would be pre-planning. Um, Gather as much information as you can at the beginning. When even your initial, once you obviously get your information to bid a project from whoever it is, the contractor, the homeowner. But then really I mean, you should have sufficient information to give an accurate estimate, but then really dive into it. Once we get a contract signed, like, now we'll start planning. I mean, I already do. I guess I shouldn't even say start planning, because I do, even when I'm estimating, like, I think it through in the steps that we're going to do the project, like where we're going to start and all the way to the end. So then once we get a, signed contract and we're ready to go, it's plan everything. I mean, from the locates to the first, what equipment. I mean, I'll list it all out, the equipment, when it's going to be, how long it's going to take to do these certain tasks, how materials ordered on site even a couple days before we get there to start, so we're not waiting on anything. And
Hmm.
just I don't know. I guess it's always been it's been fairly easy for me to break a project down into steps, which makes it easier planning. And we'll actually sit down. We'll decide who's going to be on that project,
Hmm.
and we'll sit down in the office, have the plans, have all the materials, everything, and we'll go through. So all of the guys, even if somebody just going to be a laborer, they know what we're going to be doing.
Hmm.
So we get out there, we pop out the truck in the morning, and the guys already all know what they're going to be doing. There's no
How
time.
do they know? How do they know what they're doing?
Well, I mean, I guess our guys have experience, which is a
Hmm.
big plus on that. But because we sit down, we might spend, depending on the size of the job, we might spend 2 3 hours going over the project. Because I feel that 2 3 hours with the whole crew that's going to be out there saves us way more time than that once we're on the job, because it's all pre-planned. The guys know the order we're going to do the stuff in. They know, even what materials we're putting in beforehand, all of that. I mean, every guy, whether it's myself or and the laborer or two laborers or operator, whoever's going to be out there. So it's just, and it helps when they have the experience and they
Yeah.
know kind of the steps already. But when we go through it, and then it's already in, I guess, in their mind too. I mean, everybody knows what their task is, and we go out and get it done.
Yeah. And then is that information in those documents, is that stored somewhere? And then if there's change orders, like where is that all housed and where is that all done?
So we build a binder with all the project plans and documents, but we use Busy as
Gotcha.
a time tracker, and we have, so we upload all the plans, all the documents for each project into Busy under that project. And so all the guys have access to the plans at any time, any of the documents for it, any change order stuff. When it's change order signed, all that stuff is in there. And we can actually just send out, if I'm not on the job, say if all the other guys are on a job and get a change order, come through, get it approved, I can upload the documents and I can send out a notification that just through Busy, hey, this change order is approved. We're good to go on it. We can get started, or however it might be. So,
Yeah. Gotcha. And then Mac, was there ever a time in your business where you didn't have a software like Busy? And then how has that changed, or could you see yourself ever going back to not having one?
no, the first year we just ran paper time cards. Um, and it was, well, the end of the first year was when I hired the first two employees. And so it was, I guess, essentially almost the first 2 years we just ran paper time cards, and just everything in a binder for the project. And I mean, that was pretty much it. I have stuff on my computer, which, I can have access to via my phone or whatever on, Dropbox or, but definitely will never go back to just that.
Yeah.
Having that software, having Busy for, because we can put our project, budget in there. We have all the cost codes. Everything is tracked. The guys that they have the app on their phone, they change a task or a machine, they change it on the just real quick on their phone. I mean, it takes, 10 seconds to change. So everything is tracked. I mean, how many equipment hours on a job, what equipment, how long, how many man hours, equipment hours we have under each cost code or task, whether it be foundation, excavation, or sewer pipe, or septic system, water line, whatever it is. Um, we're able to track all that, have that info. You know, I'm not the best at putting it all together, but I'm working on
Sure.
it. To be able to utilize it for future bidding and obviously to know where we're at on the project. Were we profitable? Did we lose? Did we break even? What, whatever it might be. So having that software, um, I'll never go back to paper time cards like that again.
Yeah, and also just from a management perspective and an ownership perspective, it's just documenting, right? So
Yeah.
you can go back at any time and job cost, and you can analyze, where you guys were short, and you can see all the costs in there. But also you can see your team members' time cards, and everything is in an app. And I always say this when it comes to CRMs and project management softwares and everything. They're all gonna get the job done,
Yeah.
but, sometimes we have this thought in our head that there's the next one will be the one, or the next one, and the next one, and we just keep going in this cycle of changing softwares. I almost I would almost guarantee that if you just use the software, whatever one you're using, and you use it, it will solve the problems you're trying to solve, and sure
100%.
sure, there are some nuances, there are some little details here and there, but if you're on busy or whichever one, if as long as you use it, it will solve your problems. And I think sometimes it's that shiny object syndrome. We just want the next big thing.
Oh
We
yeah.
want the next big thing. But for everyone listening, we all know how painful it is to start a new software. And man, I love to hear that you're using it, it's working. It's like, hey, if it's not broken, don't try and fix it, because you're just gonna have to go through this again and again and again. Like, use your software, the CRM or the project management tool, use it. And my rule for myself is, hey, if I'm using 90% of its capabilities, then I can go shop for another one. But usually when you look at it, you're using 15% of it,
Yeah.
and you just haven't even given it the time and energy it deserves. So, and last thing on that is, you're doing your team a disservice if you keep switching their
100%.
habits. Because man, I would hate if my boss, which I don't have a boss, but if my boss just kept changing up the softwares and how we're checking in and
Yeah.
how we're adding in docs, it's just stick with it. Have some consistency in your business.
100%. It's, you'll be, scrolling on Instagram or Facebook or something, you see an ad for this software, like, yeah, it looks kind of cool. Like this, I've, I learned that just like you said. Um, it just, we're not, like you said, we're probably utilizing 15, 20% of the features that the software has. And it doesn't, I've been there working for a company that switched time tracking software. I mean, like 4 times 1 year, and it was like,
It's
no,
come on.
not going through that. So, no, and that's one thing that has helped me is working for somebody for, so many years. Like, I know what it's like. So, and that's what I try to explain to my guys, and I hope I never lose sight of that is I've been in their position. I know what it's like. And so
Yeah.
I've tried to keep those things in my mind through the years because it had been, quite a number of years that I'd wanted to go on my own. And so I always try to keep those things in my mind that I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna do that. I know how frustrating it is. I know how tough it is to try to change something. And so that's one thing we try to do. So,
Man, I love it. And for all those listening, this is Mack Lipka, 2026 Dirtbag of the Year talking. He is the owner of Black Diamond Landworks. Go give him a follow at Black Diamond Landworks. Mac, I wanted to ask you this question. How did you come up with the name Black Diamond Landworks? Walk me through that process a little bit. And was there anything, yeah, how did you come up with that name?
well, actually, it was me and my wife, sitting outside by the campfire one night and just visiting when we were kind of we kind of decided we were going to start the business. And I say we, I mean, I wouldn't do it without her support 100%.
Absolutely.
And, it's something we agreed on. And she knew that it was going to take a lot of time and effort of mine to try to get up and rolling. But no, it was, just knowing this area. Obviously they've got the mountains and big ski areas and stuff, Black Diamond, kind of the slopes
Oh, yeah.
and, and also just, I mean, that along with, just, you Black Diamond, tough slope, whatever, but just I'm trying to think of the words to, uh, how to put it here. It's, kind of drawing a blank on it. I thought about it earlier too. I figured you might ask this
Oh,
question.
dude, the people need to hear the Black Diamond Landworks. I mean, it's such a sweet name, and also too, like you said, with where you guys are at in the mountains there, Black Diamond. I mean, so good. And did you have any issues? Maybe I'll ask it this way: did you have any names that could have been a second place, or any ones that it almost was?
No, we picked this one. There was no, I mean, nobody had it, and I mean, it's the first one, and I don't think we even thought of any alternatives, to be honest. I mean, I've
Wow,
got my brother's here in Kalispell has his own excavating business too, and uh, Lipka excavating, and so I didn't want to. I mean, just figured didn't want anything to be similar to that. I mean, let him do his thing, and I'll do my thing, and so yeah, this was what we really the first one. Actually, my wife thought of it, and
let's
we went
go.
with it. So
That's awesome. I love that. And Mac, I gotta ask too. So, uh, you are a father, 4 boys, is that right?
four boys.
4 boys. So, I'm a soon to be dad with my wife Olivia. We're very excited, and we wanted to start a little segment on the podcast of getting some dad advice for all the dads out there. I know would love. I mean, 4 boys. That sounds crazy, but like, what advice would you have for anyone listening that is a parent, but anyone that is about to become a parent or wants to become a parent?
Oh, that's tough. There's a I
There's
don't think
layers.
any of
There's
us
we can go as deep as you want to. I mean, it's we got to hear some dad advice.
I don't think any of us knows what we're doing when we get into it. We might think we do, but man, it's a whole new world. Honestly, I mean, just some genuine advice is don't as much as you feel like you have to put even whether you're a business owner or not, especially being a business owner, as much as you feel like you have to put time and effort into your business, you have to make time for your family. You have to make
Mhm,
time for your kids. Do not neglect them. That is that is the best time. A lot of the memories, I mean, I absolutely love my job. I love my work, but the best memories is doing stuff with the kids. It's spending time with them. And I have made it a goal, and I guess into a position where I've been able to build into position with the guys that I have working for me that 5:30, 6 o'clock,
mm.
I'm home every evening to have dinner with the family. That's that's huge. I mean, for the kids, for the wife, that's to have that time. And oh, I might come back to work sometimes, come back to the shop, like work on something I have to do, but take that hour, eat dinner, spend a little time with the kids playing a little bit after dinner, and then come back to work. But that's probably the biggest thing for me.
Hey, dirtbags. It's Joe from Phaser Marketing, and I'm here to tell you this episode of Dirtbags Podcast is brought to you by Elgin, a pioneer in on site wastewater treatment and a company built on purpose. For over 4 decades now, Elgin's been leading the charge in innovative, reliable, and engineer friendly septic solutions. Their signature GSF system is NSF 40 certified, ASTM tested, and designed to thrive in even the most unpredictable soil conditions. With its multi stage filtration process, smaller footprint, and lower maintenance, it's become the trusted go to for contractors who want performance they can count on. But what really makes Elgin stand out is their heart. They've made it a priority to hire and support U.S. veterans, helping them transition from the military to meaningful careers in the trades. It's not just about systems, it's about service. Whether you're a contractor, an engineer, or a supplier looking to elevate your installs, Elgin brings you innovation, integrity, and impact all in one system. Learn more about Elgin at elgin.com and give them a follow on Instagram at Elgin Corporation to see install tips, product updates, and how they're giving back to those who served.
Yeah, man, that's so cool. It's we just recorded the podcast with Corey Carlson. The Win at Home First episode is the last one, and I was reading his book last night, and it was the chapter talking about family, right? And as business owners, and I'll just speak to the business owners for now, real quick. But as business owners, he talks about having those boundaries in your business and in your life to make time for family, and he does a great job prefacing. Yes, there will be times you work late. Yes, there will be a season where you have to work late. Yes, there will be times you work on the weekends. We all understand like how business
Yeah.
goes. But he mentioned kind of what you said there is like set a rule, 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, I'm home. And I think it almost goes back to the Parkinson's law of like if, the bigger the fishbowl we give ourselves, the more we're going to grow into it. And so if we allow ourselves to always work till 10 p.m., we're going to.
Oh
And if
yeah.
we allow ourselves to always miss things and always be in the business, that's what's going to happen. And so if you reverse that thinking, you say, okay, well, if I have a boundary of I will be home at 6 o'clock, and then you give yourself a little wiggle room where there's, yeah, sometimes in some seasons I won't be able to be there, but it's just so cool because then you start to see that, hey, this is still going to work out
Yep.
just fine. And you get to have those experiences with your family and your kids, which, as you mentioned, Mac, is it sounds like from your priorities you're listing here, it sounds like your family and your kids are above the business.
Oh, 100%. 100% they are. I mean, I guess the three I have are kind of in this order is, faith, family, and work. So that's
Yeah,
kind of how I go about it.
man, I love that. I've talked about that before too on here, and it's yeah, everyone has their priorities, and it's different for everyone. I'm with you. It's my faith and love in Jesus Christ is number one. My love for my wife is number two. My kids is three. Everything else is under that. And
Yeah.
to your point, it's not that we don't care about our business. It's not that we don't work hard or try hard. It's just there's things that are above it.
Yep.
And
100%.
it feels like when I'm struggling in my life or I'm struggling with my relationships or with my team, usually my priorities are out of whack. And so if we can get back into what are my priorities for one, and are they in that order currently? And you just do an audit of your day and an audit of your time. And I think usually that's where you can find the leak of, okay, I'm not spending enough time here with this priority.
Yep. No, you are 100% spot on that. I've experienced it many times.
Man, that's so awesome. So four boys, are they I gotta ask this question too. How old is your oldest?
Oldest is 12, almost 13, be 13 in August. So
Okay.
right
As
now
a
they're, yeah, they're 12, 9, 6, and 4 right now.
okay, awesome. So as a business owner and a dad, have you guys talked about or how do you think about like work having them work in the business versus get exposure to that versus like taking it over one day? Like do you guys ever talk about that with them or with your wife?
Uh, a little bit we have, and um, currently, I mean, once a week I take the four of them here to the our shop office, and they clean, they sweep, and
That's
do
awesome.
everything, and earn a little bit of money, and we've I take them to work as much as I can, as much as they want to. I mean, they're kids and they need to have a life too, and
Yeah.
have fun and do what they enjoy and what they want to do. But I also, try to bring them with me when I can and teach them, a little bit of the work ethic and have them learn and see the industry and if it's something they'd be interested in. And I told the two oldest, the two youngest aren't really old enough to really understand it yet, but
Yeah.
I would love for them to come to work. I would love for one of them to take over the business someday if they want. Obviously, no pressure if they don't want to, but no, we have had the conversations. If there's any one of them right now, I'd have to say it's going to be my 4-year-old. he he lives and breathes equipment. I mean, every
Man.
day when I walk in the door, he comes running up to me, gives me a hug, and looks at me and says, "Dad, you left me at home again today."
Oh,
So, no,
oh man.
he just loves it. I mean, I honestly wish I could take him with me every day, but
Yeah.
so,
It I know you kinda said this quickly, but I really liked how you said, they come once a week, they help clean the shop, and I pay them. And there's gotta be a deep lesson in there too of, you're working, you get paid, you can go do things with this, and whether you like it or not, like this world, you do need
yeah,
money to survive in the
yeah,
world, and you also have to go earn it. And I think it's just a good way to get them around the business to show them, like, hey, I'm not just going to hand you an allowance for doing nothing.
yeah,
And for somebody listening, it could be chores at home. I was always picking rocks. And now that I'm, seeing that, like, it's just, I didn't just have an allowance just for existing. I had
yeah,
to go, or I got to go work.
yeah,
And I just love how you can provide that to your kids of just teaching them a lesson within a lesson of,
yeah,
hey, when we have a business and we have these assets and these things, we need to take care of them.
yeah,
But also, when you put in the work, when you put in inputs, there are outputs.
yeah,
And man, it's fun to think about that. Like we're in the stage right now, my wife and I have talking about all these things of just what are how are we going to do certain things? Like what are some life lessons? What are we going to tolerate versus not tolerate? And at the end of the day, you mentioned it earlier, like you do the best you can, but you don't really know what you're doing. And
yeah,
so I think it probably just goes back to loving them. And for us and for our family, it's showing them Jesus and showing them
yeah,
Jesus's love. And yeah, and just hoping that that it works out okay. And you can't strong arm the perfect plan of like it's got to go this way. It's you just gotta live life. You gotta be free, and just man, it's exciting though to see how much you love your family and how much you put them ahead of your business. Which,
yeah.
granted, it doesn't happen all the time, and nobody's perfect, but it's really cool to at least hear you talk about that.
Yeah, I'm going to believe that's how it should be, and even that, I mean, like you said, there's so many uh lessons inside of lessons. I mean, each one has their individual characters, their how they act, everything, and like even we come to the office here, and some of them, one doesn't really like to sweep, one likes to, I mean, they pressure wash
Yeah.
pickups, equipment, whatever, so you kind of play off of what they enjoy, but we have fun, and actually you find little ways to get them to do the stuff that they think they don't enjoy,
Yeah.
just I mean, like that, to learn that even if you don't like it, it still has to be done sometimes, and no, it is. It's kind of interesting. It's fun and interesting just figuring all that out.
Yeah, I was up in Minnesota last week with my brother, and they have 3 kids, and so I was helping them watch them. And my dad used to do this to us, and I thought it was just a great game I was really good at back in the day, but he would play the quiet game in the car. And so,
Mhm.
3, 2, 1, begin, and I was just quiet. And so
Yeah,
I was really good at that game, but as I got older, I'm like, "Oh, that's just a genius tactic
yeah,
to have us shut up." And but anyway, I used that with my nephews and my niece. I was just like, all right, we're gonna play the quiet game, and it worked. And
Mhm.
so for any parents out there and for any dads, keep that in your back pocket.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, it still works. But
It
Mac,
works.
this is so great. I appreciate you sharing all of this. And
Yeah,
I you mentioned this earlier too, and I want to take a second to talk about it, but we were talking earlier about equipment, and you were talking about the Encon and how you had been operating with it and how you obviously use it in your business. That's how you got the Dirtbag of the Year belt. So I was watching a video maybe a few weeks ago. I saw you were talking about it, and you mentioned potentially falling behind without a tilt rotator. And I want to unpack this a little bit more because there's people listening that have a tilt rotator, there's people listening that have never used it, and the price tag can be a little bit shocking. Walk me through a little bit more maybe what you meant by that of falling behind, but also you alluded to it with your team, your laborers and your operators, like you do less when you have a tilt rotator. So if you could unpack for me kind of your thought process with it and
Right.
also maybe even also why you chose Encon.
Yeah, for sure. No, it is. I guess I find, you know, I do a lot of, like I said, ran almost 4,000 hours on Encon for the company I work for, and I saw all the benefits, and I guess, yeah, I knew going in that I loved it. I loved what I could do with it. And so I knew going in that I was going to, I mean, the excavators that we purchased, that I was going to buy one because, yeah, the price tag can be a little shocking up front right away. But I look at it this way, and I guess it was easy for me because I have the experience running one
Yeah.
for somebody else. So I knew the benefits of it. But say for our first machine, it was like 75,000 for the
Hmm.
tilt rotator, install a couple attachments. I think maybe 3 attachments, a couple buckets, and a compactor.
Yeah.
But
What
I look at it,
which compactor did you go with? Sorry. Did you go
we have the
Stelco?
Encon,
Oh, the
and
Encon. I gotcha.
yeah,
Cool.
yep, yep. So, and we have the EC oil
Hmm.
quick attach for all of our attachments. And but back to the price, I look at, okay, what do I, because I have the experience, and I know, I guess let me preface it with this, is I know that probably on 95, probably about 95% of tasks that we do that would require a laborer, having the tilt rotator eliminates at least one laborer.
Wow.
There's many tasks that it eliminate 2 to 3 laborers, and especially a little bit depending on your maybe an attachment you have. So, I look at it, number 1, what would I pay a laborer in a year? And, it's if it's the, depending on area and wages, but, I mean, it might be 50 to 70,000,
Sure.
somewhere around there. So, that alone, you're almost paid for eliminating 95% of labor work on a task. You've almost paid for that tilt rotator in 1 year for just that one reason alone. But now you're way more efficient on your tasks. So you're getting your jobs done sooner. You're doing more work in a year. I feel you can leave a far better finished product. And again, it's less labor. And even if you do have a labor, everything that you can do with it saves, your labor doesn't or burn so much energy doing, shoveling and all that. They're able to do the easier part of the labor work. You're not you're not moving around. You
Hmm.
can do so much in one spot with a tilt rotator. I mean, I think a lot of the listeners probably have seen videos and seen what you can do with them, but so you're not tearing up your job site near as much, which means you're not doing near as much cleanup. You're way less undercarriage wear.
Hmm.
You're burning less fuel. So you start adding all that up, along with eliminating at least one labor, but some tasks more. I've figure, especially having the experience on a machine with a tilt rotator, I figure our ROI for on that 85 was between 4 to 6 months.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, it's a no brainer. I
Wow.
mean, the way I look at it, and it's there. I mean, yeah, you have equipment, stuff can happen, but it's there every day. You don't have to deal with the stuff that it just, as humans, we deal with. I mean, sickness or, whatever it might be. It's there, and I know 95 to 99% of the tasks I can get done by myself without needing a
Mm.
laborer.
What would you say? Is there a big learning curve? Let's say an operator comes in with 15 years of experience and they've only operated without one. Like, is there a big learning curve, or is it pretty easy to get around?
Um, I would have to say a lot of it will depend on their mindset.
Mm,
they've been operating. If they, I've had conversation with guys. You're not an operator if you don't need a tilt rotator. You're not an operator if you have one of those. You're not, that's BS. But it's not about that. So it is about the mindset. If they are like excited, willing to learn it, I feel the learning curve is way shorter.
Right.
Um, I would say, I mean, if you're on it steady for about a week, the guys get pretty good hang of it, which we have 4 excavators, all 4 of them have tilt rotators and cons, and so, I mean, no matter what we're doing, our guys come to work, they're running a tilt rotator.
Right.
So, um, for me, I felt was super easy. I grew up running a processor, where I was already used to the tilt, rotate, all the I mean, you had 9, 10 buttons, rollers on each joystick and everything that you're dealing with in a processor, so that made the learning curve a lot shorter for myself, I know that, but I believe,
Yeah.
no, I do, I believe a lot of it comes down to mindset, and I have definitely noticed the younger generation pick it up a lot better. I mean, I'm sure it's to do with, the different technology, the games and stuff, obviously, that they're playing as kids and whatever anymore, but I think that definitely helps for sure.
Yeah, it definitely helps. And then also too, something I've noticed is yeah, there's more access to them now, where before it's just mostly overseas, because
Yeah.
in Europe they've always had them. Like you go, we were in Norway 2 years ago. Every single public job, every single state company, yeah, every excavator had a tilt rotator, and it
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
some fancy branded thing. It was just stock. And but then you come over to the US, and it's fairly new. And
Yeah.
but I feel like now you obviously go to Con Expo or something like that, and you can jump in, hit the sandbox and get a good feel for it. But then now, which is a great segue transition that I did not plan, is demo days. Is now you can actually go try equipment. You can start digging. You
Yeah.
can get a good feel for it without having to make that purchase yet. And you guys just had a demo day. It was at Dane's DC Excavation, right?
Yeah, DC Dane caught DC Excavation down there in
The
Belgrade,
man.
the man himself. So,
Yep,
yeah, that was just
Dane.
this past weekend, yeah, the 30th, I think it was.
So tell me a little bit more about the demo days. Is that just open to whoever wants to come? And then do you guys all bring your machines? Like, did you bring any excavators, and how does that work?
So I didn't bring any myself, I offered to, but, they had plenty. I mean, Dane had a few of his, another, Hydro Seed Landscape Company had a couple of theirs, RDO or John Deere had one of their
Got it.
new machines there. So there's that a couple of machines, RDO or John Deere RDO and Con kind of work together on a couple. So, there was plenty of machines, but yeah, it is I mean, pretty well open to anybody. I mean, I feel it could be better advertised
Yep.
about these demo days for sure. I think they would get a lot more people coming by. But yeah, open to anybody. I mean, you can pre-register or just show up and register when you show up for it. But it's a good, we had a lot of good conversations with a lot of
Hmm.
people. Um, yeah, to just hop on, see what they're about, and having guys there that own them, operate them, therefore to be able to have conversations with experiences, with the tilt rotators and what they're capable of. I think it's a huge help to the industry and business owners for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And NCON's been super awesome to us. Obviously, if anyone's listened to the show for 5 minutes, you know that we had our huge Dirtbag of the Year meetup at Con Expo, which
Yeah,
was unbelievable. And they hosted us in their booth, and I mean, everything was so awesome. So really
that was
appreciate them, and
super cool.
huge shout out to Bruce Richardson, Bruce the Moose on
Brace
Instagram. But
moves.
it's man, it's cool to get, great connections, because you and I didn't even really know each other before Con Expo, and then all of a sudden you're wielding the belt. I'm like, this guy's awesome. We got to get him on the show. And but no, man, it's just cool how connected we all are because you're in Kalispell and Matt Studi is just such a great friend of mine, and I'm like, oh gosh, like these guys all know each other, and it's just so cool to see. I one thing I wanted to mention before we begin the wrap up, which is tough for me to do because this is so good, is you and I were talking about when is good enough really good enough, and I think that's hard for entrepreneurs, especially in this industry, to grasp. If you can walk me through some of that, like how did you learn when is good enough really good enough, and where is that line?
Um, man, that's tough. It's I guess you learn just by I mean, you put it in a simple way of maybe just a task that you're working on a project, whether it, say you're cleaning off a yard or cleaning a curb or something, and it's there's and everybody has a different mindset to what their good enough is. Um, I think we've all probably worked for somebody that did something we thought it was good enough. They're like, no, you need to do it better or do some more or something. I think you just learn working with over the years working with people, kind of what I say there's like a standard, but you always try to be above the standard. I guess I'm trying to really put it all together. It's kind of a tough. I don't know. You learn. It's kind of a tough
This
one to
is
put
good.
together. It
This
really
is
is.
good.
Um, no, you learn over the years by just working with different people, different expectations. I mean, whether it's inspectors, homeowners, city municipalities, and and it does have to be good enough for you, no matter what it is, whether it's actual physical project or something with the business or you come to a point you just realize I'm not if I put any more time into it to try to think I'm gonna make it better, I'm not gonna see any benefit from it.
There you go. I think that you nailed it there because especially in residential, I think you're dealing with expectations and how the job needs to be completed. If you continue shaping everything and cleaning everything up and it's not going to make it any better and you're just killing more time, I think,
Yep.
and maybe that's the struggle, right? Is
Yeah.
how perfect can we make it and also stay in business
Yeah.
and make a profit? And
Oh,
I've heard
100%.
I've heard just so much wisdom from some guys that because I feel like most people want it to perfection, right?
Yeah.
You
Oh, yeah.
everything has to be so crisp, but then there is a true reality of if this is a rough grade or if this is a pond, like there's only so much that we should be doing,
Yep.
and I think the biggest thing you can do if we're kind of wrestling with this right now is set the expectation from the beginning with the
Yep.
customer, and bonus points obviously if you have it in the contract because
Yep.
that way they're not looking down on you as if you didn't perfect it, but your perfection is what you had already described before that. And
Yep.
so a lot of this is just messing with expectations, and I'd say especially on the residential side.
Oh, 100% on the residential side. That's, you get commercial side where you have, full plans and specs and
Yeah.
what has to be done and what the expectation is. But yeah, you get to residential side and I mean every contractor, homeowner is different. I mean, what their experiences are, what they've seen, you know. Um so I do. I mean like if we're going over a project with a homeowner and I mean I've got probably at this point millions of pictures, but
Yeah.
I always have something in my mind that I can show them like, hey, this is what we're it's going to look like when we're done, or a resemblance of this. May not be the exact layout or something, but this is what it's going to be, so they know. And then a lot of times, like you said, like if you have it in a contract, well, we try to put it in the contract because they'll try to get you. Many of them try to get you to do way more than you have contracted.
And I think being willing to do more is okay. But
Oh yeah, for sure.
having it in the contract where it's like, yeah, we can do more, but this is how that goes. And
Yep.
that's probably a change order. It's like, hey, can you
Yep.
just bring a couple more loads of dirt? It's like,
Yep.
sure, this is how that
Mm,
works. Instead
yep.
of just doing it out of the goodness of your heart. Obviously, everything is up to your discretion. Like if it's fixing a plant in the yard that you not like whatever.
Yeah.
There's little things that you just do, but yeah, I think having in the contract at least gives you that clarity, you and the customer, where yeah, we can absolutely do that. Here's how that process works, and where they're not just calling your shots and running your business for you.
Stuff to you. You do something a little bit extra every job, a couple, let's get a couple more loads of gravel. Can you do that? Like, yeah, I mean, it's gonna, you just do it for them. There's $500 or, whatever it is. Or so you got to be careful. I mean, for sure, it can start eating you.
Yeah, and also too, it's business, and our clients, all of our clients, with everyone listening, should understand that. Yeah, it's just
Yep.
business. Like I that's normal. And
Yep.
yeah, we can absolutely do that and help out. But we call it scope creep. Like the more you're going to do, like the more I'm going to ask. And the
Yep.
more it starts to creep up to where, um, we're not trying to be greedy, but we're also trying to run a business. And the best customers to work for are the ones that are happy that you're making a profit, because the more
Yep.
profit you make, the more you're investing in your team, your equipment, your uniforms, your cleanliness, your CRM, your project management tool, and the more they're going to receive in return. So don't be afraid to make a profit. Have good standards, but then also just use good judgment. Yeah, if it's something you can do that'll take a few seconds, or something you can help somebody out with, that then allows you to do that, because if you want to do some freebies, you can, but you at least now have the profit to be able to make those decisions.
Yeah. You mentioned it. What I was going to mention when we were kind of talking about project management was you mentioned scope creep, and that is one thing we go over with our whole crew is this is the scope of the work. This is what,
Mhm.
so they know what's expected, what we're going to be doing. And there's times where I may not be there, or Ivan, our other project manager, may not be there, and the homeowner might ask them to do something and they don't know. They might think that, hey, they ask me, are you gonna do, touch this up? And then they go, "Oh, yeah." Well, they don't know that
Mhm.
that two
Mhm.
more hours of work wasn't part of the scope. So,
Yeah. Yeah, clearly documenting will help everyone. It'll help the client, it'll help your team, and it'll help yourself. So,
yeah.
um, man, so good. Well, Mack Lipka, Dirtbag of the Year. As we begin to wrap up here, what an episode. I mean, thank you for being
Oh, yeah.
on. Thank you for your support and just you being willing to give to our audience. If anyone wants to give Mac a follow, go follow him on Instagram at Black Diamond Landworks. Great follow, by the way. And thank you for the dad advice. As we wrap up here, I do want to ask for, if somebody's listening, let's say they're young entrepreneur, maybe they just started an excavation company, maybe they want to start. If you were to give them, a piece of advice, maybe it's something you learned, maybe it's something to look out for, maybe it's something to look forward to. What piece of advice would you give to an entrepreneur listening right now that is in the excavation, septic, or land space in the industry?
Oh man, there's so much I
We
could
can do a
say.
couple if you need.
um, Man, don't make things too complicated.
Hmm.
Would be a Keep it simple. Rely on I mean, assuming, you're gonna start a business, jump in a business, having some experience already, obviously, or you're probably not gonna be, especially getting into excavation. You're gonna have some of the experience in the trade. So, but don't overthink things. Keep it simple. Rely on your experience. And I don't think, I mean, there's some, but I'd say a vast majority of people, especially in this industry that started their business, aren't maybe so savvy on the business back end side of all that. Um, but you have the experience, or you wouldn't be, and you enjoy it, you wouldn't be doing it. So keep it simple and
Yeah.
rely on that experience, and figure out you learn the other stuff as you go, and I mean, like, rely on help. I mean, accountant, whatever, to help keep everything straight and keep it going, and don't stress about all that stuff too terrible much, I guess.
Yeah, man, such great advice. And there's we call it the KISS method. It's keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
And it's almost amazing when you look at it. Some of the best businesses are so simple, and there's a reason for that. And usually, I feel like it starts simple, and because you have to, right? There's
Yep.
fulfillment, there's management, and then there's money management, there's sales, et cetera. You have your
Yep.
pillars, but as you grow, maybe in this middle stage, it gets so complex for no reason. And because we think that complex is good. And then usually what happens as we begin to optimize and grow and scale is we have to go back to simplification. Because
Yep.
if somebody asks simplification and clarification, if it is not crystal clear without you giving me any words, if I can't just look at an org chart and see exactly who does what where, their roles and responsibilities, it's too complicated. And
Yep.
so just really dumbing it down for you, for your team, for anyone, for your clients, your customers. And it's like, hey, sweet. This is going to be even easier to run this business the simpler it is. And then the other one on that. So there's the KISS method, keep it simple, stupid. And then just the keep this in your mind of simple scales. That is what scales is simplicity.
Yep.
But Mac, such great advice. And thank you for being on the show. I know you're going to
Yep.
defend your belt in 2027. Um,
Yep.
for everyone listening, we will come out with the location and what we're going to be doing for the Dirt Bag of the Year next year. Mac is going to have his name engraved or signed on the belt, so he'll forever be the 2026 champion. But Mac, with that, we're going to let you go. What a time. Thank you for everything you do
Yeah.
for the dirt bags and for the industry. Excited to keep it rolling and excited to see you in 2027 as we fight for that belt. Might be a WWE match. We'll see. But
Right.
I would assume we're going to do some more operating.
Appreciate having me on, Luke. It's been a blast, and I don't know if I've had too much good advice, but tried anyways. So no, it's I really appreciate having me on, and looking forward to future conversations, and definitely looking forward to defending that title.
I love it. Heck yeah. That is Mack Lipka, everyone. Episode number 125. If you made it this far in the episode, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel, leave a review, and then obviously shoot Mac a message on Instagram. Just let him know you listened this far. That is at
Sure.
Black Diamond Landworks. We will see you on the next one.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Thanks, guys.